Hello YouTubers. The heroes that I was brought up with were largely people around me. I mean, my father, who I always worshipped, never received any awards for gallantry, but some of his personal stories of things that happened to him in the Second World War certainly made him a hero to me. My uncle was also mentioned in dispatches at Tobruk in the Second World War, where he, as I understand it, saved a number of injured people while putting himself at great risk. Lord Nelson, who sits on his plinth in Trafalgar Square, was a great hero to me. More so now, actually, because he was disabled. I'm now disabled, and for him to do what he did in terms of his tactical brilliance, largely, in winning so many battles for Britain at a time when, really, if we hadn't beaten people up around the world, we would have been beaten up by them. So I don't really feel there's any need for anyone to apologise for anything Nelson did, because the world was very different then, and we weren't we were the major power, but we weren't the only one. You know, France was big, Spain and Portugal were big, even the Dutch, and I think it's important to remember that, you know, we weren't just the bully boys, we were perhaps better at doing it than some of the other guys were, and, you know, we built a country around it, really. I don't think anybody wants to send people to war, but what I think it's important to remember, I mean, I'm not pro-war, but what I am pro is the recognition of the selflessness in which some of our soldiers behave when sent into action by our, in theory, democratically elected government sends them. An example of that is Iraq. I mean, many of us, myself certainly included, are not in favour of Iraq and our being there, but they are there, they were sent there, it's not their fault that they were there, and some very remarkable bravery has happened in that country. And I think it's you know, quite something. Now, excuse me while I rustle a few papers, but I've done a little bit of research, and I'm going to talk about one guy in just a second who was the first soldier in more than 20 years to be awarded the Victoria Cross. In fact, he was the first since Colonel H. Jones was awarded the Victoria Cross for selflessly attempting to storm an Argentinian machine gun post in the Falklands War. Now, the guy that has since achieved similar notoriety is still living and wasn't awarded the Victoria Cross posthumously. His name is Private Harry, and he saved the lives of up to 30 of his comrades. He was only 25, he was born in the West Indies. So he's not some wizened 35-year-old, super hard, experienced soldier. He's only 25 years old. Now, he led his team to safety after it was ambushed by insurgents in southern Iraq. He guided a warrior armoured convoy through the flashpoint town of Al Amara. Well, in May of 2005, I believe it was. Or it may have been 2004, 2004 or 5 anyway, it was in the May. And after his commander was believed to have been killed. After his commander was believed to have been killed, despite suffering serious injuries himself after his vehicle was hit and burst into flames, he led 5 vehicles out of the town. A month later, when I'm sure he hadn't even recovered from that, the young soldier saved more lives in a second ferocious exchange and suffered serious head wounds in a rocket-propelled grenade assault that left him in a coma. Private Bahari said he was not scared at the time. It was only after he came out of hospital and returned to duty that he became more wary. I was a bit more scared then, he added. His main concern had been getting his vehicle safely out of the ambush, otherwise the team would have been a sitting duck. We would have been target and may not have got back, he said. The armoured vehicle driver from the 1st Battalion, the Princess of Wales Royal Regiment, said, "It does not feel like a hero, I just feel like myself." He said that in an interview with Sky News. "Maybe I should, but I didn't feel anything." He said Private Bahari becomes the first living recipient of the Victoria Cross, the highest award bestowed on British and Commonwealth soldiers for gallantry in the face of the enemy. It is the first Victoria Cross awarded since, as I mentioned, Colonel H. Jones and Sergeant Ian Mackay received posthumous awards during the Falklands War. Private Bahari, who lives in London, joins only 13 other living holders of the prestigious medal. Born in the Caribbean island of Grenada, the former construction worker came to the UK in August 1999. He enlisted in 2001, serving tours in Iraq, Kosovo and Northern Ireland. General Sir Mike Jackson, Chief of the Defence Staff, praised his valour. His citation is an extraordinary story of one man's courage, in the way he risked his life for his colleagues, not once but twice. He said Private Bahari was among more than 140 servicemen and women to be honoured in the latest operational honours list for service in Iraq, Afghanistan, Northern Ireland, the former Yugoslavia, Liberia, the Congo and Sierra Leone. Other soldiers to receive honours include Corporal Mark Biles of the 2nd Battalion, Prince of Wales Royal Regiment, who received the Military Cross after he crossed open ground under enemy fire in Iraq, capturing the 3 positions and 8 prisoners of war. He was forced to take the initiative and take temporary command of a small team after their armoured vehicle came under fire in Amara. To me it was what I'm trained to do, he said. It's my job. Sergeant Terry O'Brien of the Royal Regiment of Artillery, deployed in Basra, receives a conspicuous gallantry cross for bravery during a gunfight with Muqtada al-Sadr's militia in August